Gaurav, thank you very much for taking the time out this evening and joining us here. Let me begin by asking you this. The new Orbiter EV comes with some standout features of what we're given to understand, but what's the sales strategy and how much production per month is the company eyeing?
Firstly, thank you very much for having me here. At the TVS family, this is a proud moment for all of us. The Orbiter is really geared up for the new age urbanite customer. It brings in a lot of segment first features with a great range of 158 kilometers, and of course, packed with technology, great styling, and appealing to the entire consumer set that I just mentioned. With regards to the growth, I would say at this point in time, this will be adding on to our EV portfolio. We are very bullish about the TVS Orbiter. In just about a few hours from its launch, we've got a very good response already, and it should only build up from here. Having said so, at this point in time, there are, of course, overall constraints in terms of supply chain, in terms for the EV particularly. Therefore, we are working on all the ways to address it in a manner which is both speed as well as alternative solutions. But we are going to be maximizing, given the constraints, to be able to support it at the earliest.
Gaurav, as you point that out, let me ask you this. The fight with respect to market share in the EV segment is seen to be intensifying, given all that we're looking at. But how do you see TVS Motors gaining market share from current levels? And more importantly, what's the aspiration here?
See, we are focused always on the customer. Our entire purpose is to provide consumers with greater choice and have vehicles which are actually purpose driven to support their requirements. And that's how we are adding on Orbiter to our existing portfolio with the iQube. We believe that both on put together, we'll be able to serve a wider range of consumer demand and consumer choices and expectations. And hence, we are going to be continuing our work in the area of understanding consumer better, bringing in more products which support them. And in this process, looking at helping to sell more and more possible in the marketplace to serve our customer.
In fact, as you point that out, let's also speak about the price point, because when you look at Orbiter, it's noticeably below 1 lakh rupees. That is cheaper than your best-selling iQube variant. So the but obvious question would be, what's the rationale behind this aggressive pricing? Is it a deliberate move in a sense to widen adoption, Gaurav?
See, we always at TVS, one of our core values has always been about value maximization. At the same time, we have studied the consumer segment across the country. And looking at all of this put together, we have brought this entire good package to the customer, which is a package of style, practicality, technology at great value. And with this, we expect, and we are very bullish, that the demand for TVS Orbiter will only increase further.
That aside, Gaurav, what we do know currently that is panning out is, of course, about how the street is, excited about a possible GST cut for EVs. Which rate reduction do you think would be most meaningful for you? And what are your expectations from the policy front?
See, I think overall, we are very thankful to the government as well as to the Honorable Prime Minister for very supportive policies for economic progress in the country. Specifically in the auto sector. Already the GST on EV is about at 5%, which is very favorable. A lot has been done to support the overall ecosystem, and various stakeholders are now taking action further to progress it further. Therefore, from an EV perspective, I think the government has really supported a lot, and many of us as OEMs and other stakeholders are now putting it forward to bring into action.
In fact, Gaurav, we also hear that some customers are holding back purchases. This is ahead of the potential GST cut. Are you seeing, in fact, signs of postponement, and how do you expect the festive season sales to shape up?
See, we are hearing, possible dialogue about the GST Council looking at for ICE vehicles. If that were to come to play, that will really help and come as a relief to the customers in the country. We have seen the pricing go higher in the recent past. This will only help to really increase the motorization and bringing in more customers to get into their motor vehicles of their choice. Overall momentum of customers getting into two-wheelers will only aid the progress of both ICE and EV put together. So we are very grateful if this was to come together. and very bullish on the way forward.
Gaurav, talking about the festive season, can you tell us this? How did Ganesh Chaturthi sales fare compared to last year? And also, are you seeing a stronger festive cycle building up this particular year?
See, a festive season has a lot of elements which is going to be helping us to grow further. If I were to talk about the monsoons, have been very, very favorable. 104% over the long-term average. The reservoir control has got good water content available. The repo rates have been really helping the entire in terms of credit rates going out further. The fourth is the overall macroeconomic fundamentals remain strong for India. And if something else comes across that we just talked about earlier from a perspective of GST Council as well, this will only add on to the festive momentum. But as such, overall, we are very bullish on the festive momentum and looking forward to it.
And Gaurav, before I let you go, of course, we have to touch upon the fact that how rare earth supply has been a challenge for EV makers globally. But have you seen a material improvement in availability and costs, or is the pressure still very much significant?
See, the rare earth situation has impacted the entire industry, and all of us are looking at, working on various alternative approaches as well. It's been on for a few months now, and various, alternative solutions are being worked across to be able to support the consumer demand. Having said so, we are still not out of the woods as of now. It is almost on a daily basis supply management. At the same time, we are working as per the government's guidance, and we are very optimistic and look forward to the entire situation getting resolved at the earliest.
Right, Gaurav. On that note, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on ET Now.